How's it going, everyone? Give an update, I guess. Today is Friday, September 15th, and I still have not been returned any of my stuff. You know, anyone that's following along, I mean, is this not theft? It is. You're darn right it's theft, but no matter where I turn, I can get no help from the people who should be doing something about it, right? They want to keep looking the other way and doing things to make it even worse on me, harder on me, and tell me it's not on purpose. It is. You know, there is a few things here and there that could be just coincidence. Very few, but they're, you know, but when they are, I'll acknowledge them. The whole water incident, yeah, that was, I'm sure, coincidence, at least until they found out, whatever. That don't excuse them. It's an issue that is actually an issue that everybody faces in this area, and more likely wherever you're at too. And those are issues that you shouldn't have to, it shouldn't be that way. But anyways, there is no right or reason for this, and for things to be the way it is now. And then, you know, my house sits empty now for it to be destroyed by mice or whatever. You know, but now it sits there empty, like a lot of other houses here, and not taken care of where I was, taking care of it, whatever. And I feel by all rights that whatever, that they should have, my issues aren't fixed, and these people should have stepped in honor and put a hold on some things, and they've let things go so far that my bank accounts froze and everything else, you know, and that's just ridiculous. And it's 100% caused by them, but I don't get to say that. And, you know, everybody wants to have a sympathetic view towards these people, towards the public servants, towards the law enforcement, which is, in my opinion, a bad name for them anyways. You know, I'm going to show this little clip of, this just goes to show what kind of people they are. And I found this on, Here's the Deal channel, and I'll leave a link to it below, but I'm going to show a little clip of it, and he does a great job discussing it. So you can go ahead and watch it, him, but I'll show you a little clip here.
What did he do? He just parked because he's out of gas.
Back up. Back up. You can be here, but back up.
Okay, he's out of gas.
Sex assault.
That's why he parked like this.
Are sexually harassing me right now.
What did he do? He parked because he's out of gas.
Sex assault.
That's why we came to move the car.
Police officers are pedophiles. Police officers are pedophiles.
Refusing to identify.
These cops are so rigid and tyrannical. I mean, can you imagine how viral this video would go if these cops reached into their pockets, got some money together, and then took this guy to get some gas? Instead, they couldn't help but display the very reason people hate them so much. They're mindless code enforcers. They're doing what they're told regardless of what is right.
Sir, let me ask you something. When young people stress out of job, nothing to have, they're like this. You should understand.
And this is the kind of people that we're dealing with, you know, all over the place. It's no longer compassion for your fellow man. What can you do for your, you know, they found this guy, kid, whatever, out of gas. They want to make a big deal, turn everything into a big deal, and it turns into that he gets arrested, stuff like that. That's just ridiculous. And there's no reason they couldn't have just said, oh, you know, they don't have to know who you are. It's all ridiculous. They could have just said, let us help, whatever. Instead, they'll go out of their way to make life worse for you. And that brings me to things I want to, I mean, of course that hits those kind, I have a reason for my view about things. My situation has been caused by them, because society wants to be sympathetic on the people that caused it, and not and then you should just go on and take it, and whatever that takes. And maybe it caused you some kind of, I don't want to go all over the place on my points. My one point is that, all the people we want to praise and honor are many times the bad people. And we go on ignoring the things they do and still find ways to praise and honor them. And like officers and stuff like that. No, they deserve all of our respect pulled away from them until they want to step up and be right nationwide. They are a nationwide club, and so don't think there ain't. We look at some of the ridiculous stuff that happens over in Chicago and stuff like that, and you think the dumb stuff ain't happening here, and it is. I'm just saying, wherever you're at, and it's this whole country, and it's the whole world, and there's people out there trying to sell hope, and there's no fixing it. So back to my point, this is the kind of people they are. You take these officers, and it's not just these officers, this is just who people are, period. Okay, I get that. I don't I don't have to go on and on blaming all the officers. I do. That's a lot of focus on my channel, and I'll be more than happy to show footage of an officer doing something right, an officer not worried about somebody's identity and instead helping them get gas, stuff like that. Those days are gone. I'm not saying they never existed, because once they did exist, and those kind of people are being weeded out of the force, small and large. We think our small communities aren't so bad, and Defiance ain't so small of a community. They get all this grant money, just like this is how they're taking over everything. Like your mayors are going to national meetings in Columbus or whatever. Why is that? You didn't elect somebody that's going to be told by the state how to run things, but that's what they're doing. Okay, and and they bring those policies all over, and that's how they continue getting the grant money and all this and that. This is the kind of people we deal with. And who are they? Well, they're just like your normal people too. We need to change. This whole world needs to change, and that's just the truth.
Too late.
What does that mean, too late? What did he do?
He didn't fell down in the fire and he fled.
I don't have to. Please, this boy, something happened to him. I go anywhere.
We tried to get you.
I go anywhere. I asked. Okay, I'm going to give you his information
it's
now.
It's too late. We tried to get that from you earlier, and you wouldn't give it.
Because he's not under 18.
Well, then you made a bad choice.
What does that mean?
That means you should have given us his
What did he do? What? Tell me what does this mean?
He's parking the fire lane.
But so anyways, it's like, and it's not just, you take these officers, that's rotten of them, and they're sworn to uphold an oath. That's why they should be held more accountable. But let's hold everybody accountable too. What about, I'm not saying that specific. That's why I'm going to leave. Hopefully you'll watch that video and get his take on it. Because I agree with his take on it, and so I don't, and I'll just direct you over to there, and I said my little piece about it, but so is it. But I mean, that highlights, I'm saying, of course they deserve to be held way more accountable, right? Because they're under oath, and this should not be accepted. That's not acceptable, and we need to hold our mayors accountable to that, because that's not acceptable policy. Get something done about it. That's should have never happened. And these people would just keep it quiet and keep having each other's backs, hold nobody accountable, and if it comes to a lawsuit, they'll pay out a lawsuit, because really it's your tax dollars that pay that lawsuit. So that's not really holding them accountable and pointing them out. But it's like, but these are just, everybody's friends too. How many friends, like how many people I meet, oh, so-and-so's a cop, my so-and-so's a cop friend, well, and then also you might know, not just cops, but, judges or, any, all of these people, lawyers, and I'm not just picking on them, but that's what I'm saying, they're all people to some, right? We're all, and this is the kind of behavior that's just accepted in life, and and it's just wrong. It spoils everything, and then it bleeds over into, now we no longer have a respectable justice system and a respectable system of law, and that's because all of this just bleeds over, and darkness keeps bleeding over into everything. And you look around, and the whole world is like this. I mean, how many times do we see somebody stranded and needing some help, and we just go on our way, And yes, those officers should have just offered help and not violated the guy's rights, and not worried about all the nonsense. They should have just offered some help and then got the car out of the way, right? Clearly there was an issue. And but I'm saying, it's just like, but this is how people view people. Everybody's above everybody, and everybody else is beneath you, and not, that's just the general thing in that outlook. And this is the shape the world it is in now. And I'm talking a lot about law stuff, and the fact of the matter is, and I'm going to be throwing, maybe it's Christian views or whatever, I'm throwing my own views out there. And a lot of things I'm saying, I'm not, everybody has to judge themselves if they're being right or wrong or whatever. But there's a big false movement in the Christian community, and it's they're in more danger than a lot of people. They point the fingers out, and I said that in one of my videos before. And so, I mean, if you want to understand the law, the fact of the matter is, you got to understand this, and you got to understand the Bible, and you'll understand the law. When you get into there's way more to understand what you're doing within the law, especially if you want to learn how to go and be able to defend yourself and stuff. You need to start understanding case law, start learning that, start understanding what the laws and policies are and all that. But you got to understand, when you want to understand the real law and how real law operates, you need to understand the Bible. And you get over here. And that's true. I mean, you can argue that, but people that know. And because our real law here in what should be the republic, not the democracy, the republic, so our real law is the Constitution, right? And that those people that wrote that real law was they were simplifying what all this is. And people think this is a lot, and it's really way simpler than people make it. But there's what kind of people are we, and who's following the law and who's not, and the people enforcing it. You take a lot of these officers, lawyers, prosecutors, depending where you at, how big your community is. A lot of them are supposed Christians or whatever. Like around here, the big whatever, they all belong to whatever church and proclaim to be Christian, but this is how they treat people, right? And this is what they'll do to people, and they act like, and they come up with reasons why it's the law and what excuses them, and then we excuse it, and the rest of society excuses it. Everyone that knows them excuses it, and really we should be shunning these people out. we should be shunning these people out, all, you know, whatever. If I have friends that are going to be a particular way that's against how I am, and make me feel like that's acceptable and stuff, I need to shun them out, right? And every part of our life, I'm saying, it's we really do, you know, and that's because we need to start realizing the days are here, and the days are here, and we need to separate all of this stuff. And you know, whoever wants to be that, be that. And that's one of the points I'm trying to get at. Another point is, you know, we have to guard our hearts, and that's what, you know, and that's, you know, I'm not somebody that's going to be able to sit here and throw out and quote scripture. I can find it and throw up screenshots and stuff like that at the moment, but I can't tell you. I know what the Bible says, but I'm not, you know, I'm not one of those that, I'm just telling you, either have it or you don't. And there's a lot of people that's claiming to be saved, and they're not technically or really saved. They just think that because they said they accept Jesus, and because they run around proclaiming to be Christian, but the things they are accepting and allowing to be accepted around them, or being, you know, is just not right. And there's things that's not right. And a lot of us know what they are, you know, and that's things I'm going to get into in my channel. I don't, right now, I'm just, I suppose today, blabbling a little bit, but, you know, I guess I wanted to make a few points, and you know, like and it says right there in there, guard your hearts, and, you know, depending on how you read it, but that's exactly what it's saying, is to guard your hearts. Out of it flows all of life. Okay, your heart is your whole connection to your soul. You have to guard that, and all around you, and everything's being accepted. Everything's being accepted, and to the point that everybody's acting like trash, and we don't know it until it's, you know, we see these two officers, or however many officers there were, you know, all being okay with violating this poor kid's rights. When however old he was, I guess he was above 18 according to the video, but they violate his rights and arrest him, all that stuff, because he ran out of gas. You know, it didn't have to be like that. And so, you know, if I'm just saying as an example, I don't know those officers or nothing, you know, but we know, I'm saying a lot of the smaller community, we overlook this stuff, but they're still there enforcing them same policies, just like these officers wherever this was at. And the thing is, if they're proclaiming to be Christian and they're proclaiming to be saved, they need to be guarding their hearts from them policies and enforcing them policies. And whether we like to admit it or not, that might cost you your job, that might cost you whatever, but it is, if you cannot be treating people like that and proclaim to be saved, you know, that's one of my points I'm trying to make. I'm no angel, I'm no saint, you know, I won't deny any of that, and I'm not going to proclaim to be above anybody, but I will say, you know, and if you do something wrong, the right thing is to acknowledge it and apologize for it and try to fix it. But there's one thing right there, you cannot be, you know, any officer who claims to be a Christian or saved, you're not, if you're allowing policies like that. You know, if you're acting that way and thinking that it's okay because it's the law, because it's not the law, you know, and, you know, and that's the whole, you know, guard your hearts. And that means even if you're somebody in a position like that, if you know, you have to guard your heart, you know, you have to guard you have to guard it. That's up to you. You know, what are you accepting in there? And just because the rest of the Christian community says and acts like it's acceptable, does that make it acceptable? Not at all, you know. A lot of people act like, here I am, you know what, preaching to people, I don't know, you know, but A lot of people act like, in the Christian community, like it's a lot of things are okay now because Jesus was the sacrifice, and that's what, like, that's a excuse for changing the Sabbath day, is because, and that's not right. Jesus did not come to change the law. He came to fulfill the law, and we still have to abide by God's wishes, and that is the law, you know. And you know, you can't go running around all these sins and act like, well, I accepted Jesus, so it's okay. It's not okay. You know, a lot of things, a lot of the Christians are doing and accepting. There's all kinds of immoral stuff going on, and it's acceptable to society, and it's acceptable, and a lot of that's because it becomes acceptable to the so-called good people. You know, if you don't accept it, you can't accept it, and that's the thing. And you're being brainwashed by, we all, you know, they're trying to brainwash us through the music and stuff on movies and TV and all that stuff, and we're not careful on what these forms of media are doing to us, and then over time, you know, over time it changes. It changes who everyone is. It changes the meaning of everything. How did the church? It's what a lot of people don't realize. Yes, we are in the end times, but a lot of people don't realize a lot of them end times prophecies obtain to the church, to the people who are supposedly saved. So a lot of people, you know, we don't realize a lot of the end times prophecies are directed towards the church, towards the people that are supposedly saved. And here everyone's running around pointing a finger at the sinners, and yet they're gonna have to, everybody's gonna have to pay. We are all going to be judged, but you know, so many people are going to be fooled. So many people are going to be fooled, and it says that. And you can look around at the world when you take a minute and you stop. You know, sometimes some of us were forced to be able to do this, but you take a minute and you stop and you look at it, and you know, and you read the word that says it's all vanity, you know, and you look around and you realize it is all vanity, you know, like all the things that everyone expects out of me, and does that align with what God expects out of me? And which one is more important? And I'm certainly realizing what God expects out of me is more important. And like I said, it's my thing is it's time to tell Noah it's starting to rain. Because look around you, all the signs are being fulfilled, everything's happening. There's no denying this stuff, and you can deny it if you want, but I'm not. And there's enough sign there that for me, and all the things that are happening, and people are acting like it's going to get better, and there's people trying to sell hope, and there's hope for when this is all done for. Okay. And where are you going to put your hope at? And how important is your soul? And because otherwise, the plans are there and they're going to happen. And you see them pushing now a new scary virus. They keep pushing. Now this is the second one within a month or so that has jumped. I can't remember the name of it. If I see it, I'll post it up. But it's jumped from animal to human. You know, don't tell me that all that ain't. It is what it is. But make no mistakes, things are happening, and they're, you know, weeding everybody out, and you just better make sure you're right. You better make sure you're right, and that's up to you whether you are or not. But a lot of these people who think they are not.